Hi everyone, Lisa Haven here. Well, is the prophecy of Hosea coming to pass right before our eyes as the progressing years we're seeing more and more loss, more and more animal deaths? Check out the actual prophecy. This is found in the Bible in Hosea chapter 4 verses 1 through 3 that states this: "Hear the word of the Lord, you children of Israel. For the Lord hath controversy with the inhabitants of the land, because there is no truth, no mercy, nor knowledge of God in the land. By swearing, lying, killing, stealing, committing adultery, they break out, and blood touches blood. Therefore shall the land mourn, and everyone that dwells therein shall languish. With the beasts of the field and with the fowls of the heaven, ye, the fishes of the sea, shall also be taken away." It's an interesting prophecy stating that due to the amount of corruption in the land, and in the latter days, we will see an increase in animals dying in the ocean, in the heavens, and on land, meaning your birds, your fish, and your land animals. Well, no one can deny that this is exactly what is happening. Now, before I get into the amount of mass animal deaths in 2018, I want to take you back to a report that was put out on WWF Global, which is a Living Planet report that they put out. Now, in this report, they go on to detail the following, and it's highlighted right there for you, but it says the Living Planet Index reveals that global populations of fish, birds, mammals, amphibians, and reptiles declined by 58% between 1970 and 2012. 58% is a very big deal. It goes on. We could witness 2/3 of a decline in half a century from 1970 all the way up to 2020, meaning we're in for a lot more mass animal deaths, unless we act now to reform our food and energy systems and meet global commitments on addressing climate change, protecting biodiversity, and supporting sustainable development. Now, the National Geographic also weighed in, and these are again back in 2016, and they stated world to lose 2/3 of wildlife animals by 2020. Again, they're referencing that particular report. But here's something to think about. When we see this mass amount of animal deaths, I don't believe it has anything to do with climate change or global cooling, global warming, whatever label they put on it. First of all, it is a pathetic event, but second of all, we can also include amounts of pollution and all of that. But there's lots of various reasons why we could see things like such as mass animal death. Fukushima being one of those. I do believe that Fukushima plays a very big role as to why we are losing things in our oceans. It has nothing to do with the lies that they tell us on Agenda 21 or global climate change. Fukushima is a big part of that, but they're not the only part of that. We also have chemtrails hitting us from the skies. This is not a conspiracy theory. It is a fact. The government labels it. Those in the power elite label it as such, so you don't believe that they're pouring down beryllium, strontium, and aluminum on our heads, which I have a stack about this big of blood work and rainwater report that shows elevated levels everywhere, all across our landscape. Not only that, but you also must consider that people are pouring things such as prescription drugs and drugs in general and things they shouldn't be flushing down the toilet, which are infuriating and just getting into our landscape. That also accounts for it, not to mention the way that the science is manipulating things through genetically modified organisms, which we are ingesting and which are counterparts, your insects, your animals are all ingesting part of that. So we're getting hit on multiple various levels all across the board. Therefore, as a result, we're seeing an uptick in mass animal deaths across all three realms, if you will, the sea, the land, and the heavens, which is exactly what Hosea predicts and exactly what the Bible talks about happening in the latter days, if you will. Now, let me show you also this website. Now, this is called End Time Prophecy or endtimeprophecy.org. In 2017, I'm going to take you to 2017, then we're going to fast forward to 2018. But in 2017, there was a total of 454 known mass death events in 82 countries. That means that's how many things happened over the year of 2017, 454 known mass death events, which means there were millions, if not billions, of animal deaths. Now let's shoot over to 2018 using that same website. I'm going to show you on the screen here, and it's going to slowly go through it to some level anyway. It's going to go through some of the mass animal deaths that we have for 2018 already. Keep in mind, we're only in March, a little even under 3 months into the year, and we already have tons of animal deaths. So I think WWF or WWF Global is correct in their assessment that we could see 2/3% decline by 2020. But here's some of them that include, and keep in mind, this endtimeprophecy.org includes hyperlinks to all the real stories. You want the real stories, they're all included in there. But we have 700,000 animal deaths dying to weather. We have thousands of ducks, 24,000 ducks, hundreds of dolphins, millions, if not billions of fish dying in our oceans, as well as birds dying in our skies. Those are geese, those are ducks, those are different kinds of birds, as you can see on the list. Millions of sea creatures, starfish were another big one that was found on that list, in the hundreds of thousands of starfish. Dolphins is another one that we're seeing. Sheep, and as well as turtles, whales, manatees, owls, birds, ducks, and even millions of kangaroos. So that's what we have as far as 28 is concerned so far. But as you can see, it's almost as if the biblical pages of Hosea are playing out. Now, whether or not you believe in Bible prophecy or you believe what's going on, no one can doubt the fact that this is exactly what we see going on. Even secular groups such as WWF I want to say WWW, but WWF are reporting on this information on a daily basis, and it must not be something that we forget. We need to keep in mind the real reason these things are happening. Obviously, the Bible plays a huge part in that, but also your Fukushima, your GMOs, your chemtrails, all these things that are polluting our bodies also affects the animals. Anyhow, wanted to bring you the latest on all of that. I'd love to hear your comments and concerns on it below. I do read those off and on. I get to as many as I can. But with that, also, please don't forget to check out my partner at Noble Gold Investments. Back in 2007, when the stock market looked like this, few people were worried because they didn't know what was going on. But look what happened next. The warning signs were there then, just like they are now. The US stock market has never been higher. Many are saying it will go higher, just like they said in 2007. Are you ready for the fall? Do you know what to do? I know what I'll be doing. I'll be calling Noble Gold. I would be finding out about gold and silver IRAs, and quickly. I would want to make sure that my 401ks and IRAs were not exposed to this kind of collapse in the market. Be on the safe side and call Noble Gold today and talk to them. The number's here.